Ever stop to think why we learn, algebra and historical dates in school for years, but somehow miss out on the basics of managing money? It's such a fundamental skill, right? But mostly, we're just left to figure it out ourselves. So today, we're doing a deep dive into some core financial wisdom. For me, it's been about unlearning some old habits and, well, relearning some powerful truths. Consider this your shortcut to getting informed. We'll hit some surprising angles, maybe even share a laugh or two.
In that gap in formal education, that's exactly why so many people feel, well, frankly, overwhelmed or find themselves struggling with personal finance.
Yeah.
You really have to proactively seek this stuff out. It's crucial. And that's what this deep dive is all about, our mission, to pull out 7 powerful, practical money lessons you probably never got in school, but honestly, you desperately need them to really change your financial path.
Okay, let's jump into the first big one. This idea really flips the script for a lot of people. Money is a tool, not a goal. It feels a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? We're sort of conditioned to see money as the prize itself, the finish line.
Right. The end game.
Exactly. But the real insight here, the aha moment, is realizing that chasing money just for the sake of having more money, it's like spending all day polishing a hammer instead of actually, building something with it. Money is the means. It's how you get freedom, experiences, the ability to help people you care about. Just think about it. Someone pulling in, say, $200,000 a year, but they've got zero time for family. Are they really free? Compare that to someone earning less, maybe, but living a life that feels genuinely meaningful. It's a stark difference. So why do so many of us get this backwards? How do we start shifting that mindset?
That's a great question. It's easy to confuse the means with the end, isn't it? Money enables life, buys things we need and want, so we start seeing it as the objective. But it's not life itself. A really practical tip, something concrete you can do, is this. Write down your 3 biggest life goals. Seriously, write them down. Then ask, is my money actually serving these goals? Just doing that simple exercise can fundamentally shift how you see money. It becomes a servant to your real dreams, not this demanding master.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Money is a servant, not a master. I like that. So if money is the tool, what about the things that can kind of hijack that tool and trap us instead? Which brings us to another big unlearning moment. Debt is a trap, not a shortcut. The convenience of credit cards, those buy now, pay later things, they look so easy. Sometimes they feel like the only way when something unexpected pops up.
They definitely market it that way. Instant gratification.
Totally. But here's the stark reality. Consumer debt. It's a trap. Plain and simple. Let's use an example. Say you have $10,000 on a credit card. Pretty standard, maybe 18% interest. If you only make those minimum payments in just 3 years, that 10 grand could easily become $17,000. That's $7,000 extra dollars. Just gone. A huge penalty for convenience.
It really is. So the question becomes, how do you avoid falling into that trap? Or how do you get out if you're already in it? The number one thing, build an emergency fund first. That's the crucial alternative. Aim for, say, 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. Put it somewhere safe and accessible. That way, when life throws you a curveball, and it will be Apollo, you don't have to borrow, you've got a buffer.
Okay, so the emergency fund is key for prevention. What if the debt's already there?
Good question. If you're already dealing with debt, there are strategies, you've got options. There's the snowball method. With that, you focus on paying off the smallest debt balance first, regardless of the interest rate. You get these quick wins, which can be really motivating psychologically. Build momentum. Or there's the avalanche method. Here, you tackle the debt with the highest interest rate first. Mathematically, this usually saves you more money over time because you're knocking out the most expensive debt faster. Both work. It really depends on what motivates you more, the quick wins or the long-term interest savings.
Right, so you choose the method that fits your personality, almost. Makes sense. Okay, lesson 3 challenges are really common and kind of limiting belief. Investing is for everyone. That sounds great, right? Empowering. But honestly, for so many people, investing feels intimidating. Like it's this exclusive club just for rich people. What's the biggest barrier you see? How do we get past that feeling?
Yeah, that perception is a huge hurdle. I don't have enough money or it's too complicated. But the truth is, starting early is way more important than starting big. It's not about the amount you initially invest, it's about when you start. Time is your biggest asset here. Let me paint a picture. Imagine person A starts investing, say, $200 a month. They start young, age 25. Now person B waits. They start later, at 35, but they invest more, $400 a month, double person A's amount. Who do you think ends up with more money by retirement?
Well, B is investing double. but A started 10 years earlier. I'm going to guess person A.
You got it. Even though person B invested significantly more of their own cash over the years, person A likely ends up wealthier.
And that's down to that magic thing, compound interest.
Exactly. It's not magic, but
Yeah.
it feels like it sometimes. Compound interest. Think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. Starts small, picks up a little snow, but the bigger it gets, the more snow it picks up with each roll. It accelerates, your money earns returns, and then those returns start earning their own returns. It snowballs over time.
Okay, so how does someone actually start? It still feels a bit fuzzy.
You don't need to be a Wall Street guru. Seriously, there are simple ways in. You can start with exchange-traded funds, ETFs. They're like baskets holding lots of different stocks or bonds, so you get diversification easily. Or maybe look into dividend stocks companies that pay out a portion of their profits to shareholders regularly. Robo-advisors are another great option. These are online platforms that manage your investments automatically based on your goals and risk tolerance. Usually low cost, very hands-off. And the best part, you don't need thousands, even $50, $100 a month. That's enough to get the ball rolling. The key is just starting.
$50 or $100 a month. Okay, that definitely makes it feel more achievable. So we've covered avoiding debt traps, starting to invest, but what about just managing the money coming in and going out each month? This brings up a word that, let's be honest, a lot of people dread, budgeting. But our fourth lesson reframes it entirely. Budgeting is freedom, not restriction. I know when I first heard budget, I pictured like sad spreadsheets and eating instant noodles forever. Restriction, deprivation.
Yeah, it has that reputation, doesn't it? Limiting, boring.
Totally. But the shift in thinking is that a budget isn't about saying no to everything. It's actually about creating freedom with a plan. When you actually know where your money is going each month, you can spend confidently on things you value without that nagging guilt. And you can still make progress towards your future goals. It's about control, really.
Exactly, control and clarity. And it doesn't have to be complicated. A really simple, actionable framework is the 50-30-20 rule. Have you heard of that one?
Vaguely, yeah. 50-30-20. Break it down.
Okay, so roughly 50% of your after-tax income goes towards your needs. These are the essentials: housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, stuff you absolutely have to pay for. Then 30% is allocated for your wants. This is the fun stuff: dining out, entertainment, hobbies, shopping, travel. Things that make life enjoyable but aren't strictly necessary. And the crucial final 20%, that goes towards savings and investments. Paying down debt faster than the minimum, building that emergency fund, investing for retirement or other goals. It just provides this clear structure. 50, 30, 20. It takes the guesswork out and gives you control. It's liberating, not restricting.
Okay, 50 needs, 30 wants, 20 savings investing. That feels doable. A clear guideline. So, tying some of this together, how does managing money well actually build wealth? Our fifth lesson draws a really important line in the sand. Income does not equal wealth. This one can be a bit of a shocker. We tend to think high income automatically means wealthy, right?
It's a very common assumption.
Yeah.
But it's fundamentally flawed.
Exactly. True wealth isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep and how much you grow. Think about this comparison. Someone earns, say, $150,000 a year. Great income. But if they spend every single penny, maybe on a fancy car, expensive lifestyle, they're basically no wealthier than someone living paycheck to paycheck on a much lower income. They have nothing left over.
They're just cycling money through their accounts.
Whereas someone earning maybe $80,000 a year, good, but not extravagant if they live below their means and consistently save and invest, say, 30% of their income, they can actually achieve financial freedom much, much faster, maybe in just 10 or 15 years. It really drives home that it's your habits, your choices, not just the salary figure, that build real wealth.
Absolutely. It's about the gap between your income and your spending and what you do with that gap. So how do you measure this real wealth then, if not by income? You track your net worth. It's simple. Your assets, what you own, like savings, investments, property value minus your liabilities, what you owe, like mortgages, loans, credit card debt. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. A practical tip: calculate and track your net worth maybe every 6 months or once a year. Seeing that number go up over time, that's the real proof your smart choices are working. That's the true financial scorecard.
Net worth, right. That makes sense. Shifting focus from income to net worth growth. Okay. Lesson 6 tackles something else most people dread, maybe even more than budgeting: taxes. The lesson here is taxes are a system you can navigate strategically, maybe even a game you can play smart. Most of us just see taxes as this, unavoidable black hole where our money disappears, a burden.
Yeah, something you just grit your teeth and pay.
Right, but the shift is seeing it not just as a burden, but as a system with rules. And people who understand those rules can often legally minimize the amount they pay. Of course, we have to remember, these rules can be really different depending on where you live.
That's a crucial point. Tax laws vary hugely. But let's use Australia as an example, drawing from some sources. In Australia, there are ways to play this game smartly, legally. One way is making extra contributions to your superannuation fund. That's the retirement savings system there. Those contributions often get taxed at a lower rate. Another is claiming all legitimate work-related deductions. If you work from home, maybe part of your internet or electricity bill, or costs for professional development or education related to your job. And for property investors, there's something called negative gearing. If the costs of owning a rental property like interest, repairs, management fees are more than the rental income you receive, that loss can sometimes be used to reduce your taxable income from other sources, like your salary.
Okay, so there are actual strategies within the rules.
Exactly. But, and this is really important, this stuff can get complex fast. Tax laws change. Always, always consult a qualified accountant or tax advisor. They understand the specific rules for your situation and location. Trying to wing it or relying on something you have heard could mean you miss out on savings, or worse, make a costly mistake. Don't lose money through lack of knowledge. Get professional advice.
Good advice. Don't try to be your own tax expert unless you really are one. Okay, this all leads us beautifully to our final lesson, which kind of ties everything together and puts the power firmly back with you, the listener. Lesson 7. Financial education is your responsibility. It's become crystal clear today, hasn't it? This vital life skill isn't typically handed to us in school.
Not usually, not.
So becoming financially literate, getting comfortable with this stuff, it comes down to continuous learning. And maybe even more importantly, taking action on what you learn. The bottom line is nobody, absolutely nobody will ever care about your money more than you do.
Yeah.
It's up to you to take ownership, to learn, to empower yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fantastic news is, learning has never been more accessible than it is today. You don't need a finance degree, you just need curiosity and a bit of commitment. A really practical takeaway here. Try to commit to reading just one good finance book each month. Or maybe watch 1 or 2 helpful, reputable finance videos online each week. Small, consistent efforts. That ongoing learning is genuinely essential if you want to build a financial future that's secure and ultimately free.
Wow. Okay, what a packed deep dive today. We've really covered some ground, haven't we? We started by challenging the idea that money's the goal, reframing it as a tool for the life you want. We exposed debt as a trap, not a shortcut, and talked about strategies like emergency funds and the snowball avalanche methods. We busted the myth that investing is only for the rich, showing it's for everyone, and starting early is key thanks to compounding. We flipped the script on budgeting, seeing it as freedom through planning, maybe using that 50-30-20 rule, clarified that crucial difference. Income isn't wealth. Wealth is what you keep and grow, tracked by your net worth. Touched on navigating taxes strategically, with professional help, of course. And finally, landed on the big one, taking responsibility for your own financial education. These aren't just fuzzy concepts. They're really actionable insights. Hopefully they feel empowering.
Definitely. And maybe one final thought to leave you with, connecting this to something bigger. Think beyond just your own bank account for a moment. What if more people, what if everyone, really grasped and applied these principles? How might that shift things on a larger scale? Could it reduce the collective financial stress so many feel? Could it foster more security, maybe even more generosity within communities? It's worth considering how your own journey towards financial well-being, using lessons like these, doesn't just benefit you, it can ripple outwards, contributing to a broader sense of security and freedom for you, for the people you care about, maybe even for the wider world. Something to ponder